And now I would hand it over to Margaret to introduce our guest speaker. And anyway, Margaret will fill it up to you. Over to you, Margaret.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Abby. So it is my pleasure and honor to introduce a long-term friend of mine, Shivani Tripathi, and her husband Rahul will also hopefully be joining us too. Shivani is a trained Ayurveda wellness counselor and certified meditation teacher. She has a background in science and engineering. She has over 15 years experience with breath work, meditation, and other wellness techniques, including food and lifestyle. Shivani is passionate about sharing these techniques with others to relieve stress and achieve wellness proactively. Her husband, Rahul, is a meditation instructor and a technology executive with Nutanix. So it's a wonderful pair, and I love it when I've met with them, and when I hear them both talk, I gain a lot of knowledge. Shivani obtained her Ayurveda credentials at Kerala Ayurveda Academy in Milpitas in California, and Sky Breath meditation training for teacher training with Art of Living Foundation in the USA too. She has a master's in software engineering from San Jose State and a bachelor's in electrical and electronics engineering from BITS Pilani in India. Today, Shivani will be sharing practical Ayurveda tips to keep us healthy and the doctor away. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and Shivani and Rahul will be happy to answer after the presentation. Thanks so much, and Shivani, over to you.
Thanks, Margaret, for a wonderful and generous introduction.
Oh. No, could not be generous enough, Shivani.
It's always a pleasure to be with you. And I think the knowledge is the other way around. We get to learn so much from you whenever we meet you. And it has been, for many years now, almost 2 decades. So.
I know, it's amazing.
Hi, everybody. Glad to be here with you all today. So let's get started. Let me share my presentation.
Hi, everyone. This is Rahul as well. Hi.
So you can see and hear me, okay?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So wonderful. So since Margaret shared, I had no background in this area, wellness and health. And I was a software engineer, and I was happy that way, coding and solving the problems on computer. But recently had some health issues myself and in the family, and I think that kindled the interest for me in all these areas. And the best thing, what motivated me to pursue Ayurveda and wellness and meditation was, few years ago I was going through major health fall, I would say. And I met this person, and she told me that in Ayurveda, when women are going through that perimenopausal or menopausal phase, and if it's very, they're bleeding very heavily, and in Ayurveda, they will give you ash to eat, ash or rak or bhasam, whatever. So the body, when it receives that ash, it will think that, it's a crisis time, because it'll try to retain its fluid, and it's a self-correcting mechanism, and it'll retain its fluid, and it might help to stop the bleeding or make it minimum. So that particular fact, which just stuck to me, oh my God, this is a perfect science. I never thought it that way, because when I grew up, my mom would tell me certain things. I'm always, why should I do this? And she would not have the answer to give me back that, why you should do or why you should not do something. And I never paid attention, what we were taught, growing up. So that was my introduction to Ayurveda, and then I studied it. and the whole journey was so beautiful. And I was very scared to be, in front of the computer, because the classes were intensive and online classes were not easy. But I would say COVID did me such a big favor and I could learn all this, and I'm happy here to share with you today. So let me just give a little bit about what Ayurveda is. And it's a very simple and it's very individualistic science, and it has been there forever. It's eternal and but still very, very relevant to modern life. And it treats body and mind at the same level, body, mind, consciousness. So if we are treating something here, it's not only here, it's, the whole body and mind and consciousness. And who's the healer? Healer is, our own body, our own mind. Just that few tips and tricks here and there, which kinds of kindle that healer inside us. So we are the healer, not the doctor, not the nurses, not the medical system. We are the healer. And Ayurveda always emphasize on prevention. So if you lead a certain lifestyle, if you make the right choices in terms of food, you can prevent a lot of ailments of the body. You have to work proactively for that. And in Ayurveda, it's, it can come with lot of herbs and remedies. But the main one is, I put them in three pillars. One is ahar, that is all inputs, what we see, hear, smell, taste, or touch. It's all inputs for the body and mind. The second one is vihar, the daily routine, which involves, some breath work, some meditation, something to take care of the physical body. And the third one is vichar, that's the mind care. How do you take care of your mind? And if you follow these three, and if you are suffering from a particular illness or anything, then these three, they play a major role. Even if you are eating all the medication required, but if you don't follow these three, things might not work. And these are very simple to follow. It's not something very big. And I'll share some, quick tips with you. So morning is the golden time, when we wake up in the morning. So some just few tips, and which I implemented on myself and I saw the difference. So just, when you get up in the morning, first thing is some lukewarm water, or, just room temperature, not like very hot or cold water. Just washing the face and eyes and, rinsing the mouth few times. And then comes oil pulling. The term oil pulling, which is maybe some of you have heard. I didn't hear it, until few years ago. So taking some oil, it can be coconut or it can be sesame oil, any oil I would say, but for summertime, coconut is the best. So taking like half teaspoon of oil, putting it into your mouth and just, squishing it around in the mouth for some time. And you can just keep it for few minutes, start with couple of minutes, and then you can just dispose that oil. Don't throw it in your basin, in trash or in toilet, because otherwise your water, your pipes will clog. And this particular thing we do to to get rid of the toxins which get accumulated in the mouth and the tongue in the morning, because our liver, it works tirelessly overnight to expel all these toxins from the body. So this particular process helps to get rid of them completely from it. And then you can brush gently, and then using a definitely chemical free natural toothpaste or tooth powder will help. And I use this tongue cleaner. So this tongue cleaner can be used to clean your tongue. 2-3 times you can just scrape your tongue using this. And I'll tell you the benefits of all these things. And then you massage your gum with your finger. And then this process is like taking care of your upper body, I would say. Many of the problems with the upper body, with teeth, with the gums, with the eyes, and these benefits, scraping tongue, they say that you get the power to speak the truth, and you are taking away the toxins from the body. And then comes drinking warm water is recommended in the morning. And what I do is I recently learned this term, it's CCF tea. CCF stands for cumin, coriander, and fennel. And what I do is I coarse grind them and then store maybe for a week or 10 days, not more than that, otherwise it loses its vitality. And you can take some boiling water in the night, and in an insulated flask, if you keep the boiling water and a spoon of this CCF, cumin, coriander, and fennel, and you just add it in the night, and because of the insulated bottle, it will be warm or hot in the morning for you to consume, and you don't have to do anything, just have a cup or two of that water in the morning. And people with digestion issues and in general overall hormonal balance, this tea works like magic. So try it for some days and you'll see the difference. And then you can go on for your exercises, and exercises 20 minutes are recommended every day, and it can be a combination of cardio or whatever you like. It can be a combination. In general, 20 minutes is good enough. You can do definitely more than that, but in everyday's life it's hard to take out that time. So if you're doing 20 minutes, just be happy you're doing the right thing. And then comes self massage or self love before the shower. For this, we are just taking very little oil. Sesame oil again is the key, or coconut oil for summer. And you warm it up a little bit, not like hot, but just warm oil. And then just massage your body. And I would say if you don't have time to massage the whole body in the morning, the key points are top of the head, and it has to be a drop or two of oil, not more than that. Top of the head, you are putting nicely on your hands so that the hands are getting moist. And then you're putting on your face, behind the ears. If you can just do little, just a drop in around your nostril, opening of the ears, and just massage nicely your face. And then the sole of the feet, they are the second most important, because these are all extremities and these are all the marma points where the energy flows in the body. So these are very important points of the body to take care. So if you do a little bit of massage, if you have time, you can spend more time. But if you don't have time, I would say just put it on. You can go for a shower, and warm water shower is good. And don't soap, because here in this weather of California, and I don't know, people are joining from other parts too, but here in California, we don't sweat a lot, so we don't get very dirty. So you don't need to use a lot of soap. So mild soap and very little quantity of soap is good enough to clean the body. Water is the main key here to clean. And then comes the me time. So that me time can be different for everybody. So you can sit and meditate if you have any practice. You can do some breath work, and breath work also does wonders for us. It can be just, a couple of minutes sitting nicely, just quietly and talking to yourself, okay, what did you, maybe yesterday went very well, or we have some regrets, some thoughts, and some anger about yesterday. Just, acknowledging that and telling yourself, okay, you are doing a good job. It's not that, okay, we blame us for many, many things, which went wrong, but just comforting ourselves, whatever it is, I'm doing fine, I'm okay. That kind of, just, it can be that me time. So this is the ritual I follow in the morning, and I feel my day goes very well after. And then, just go about the day, have a nice breakfast, go on to your work, lunch, nap or no nap. For some people, they need some quiet time, downtime in the afternoon. Some people can go on till the day, and it's fine. But taking a nap should be short, and it can be replaced by a leisure walk, for 10-15 minutes. And people who have diabetes, that's very, very recommended, taking a walk instead of a nap. And if you really have to sleep, maybe sleep, while sitting down. You can just, then you cannot sleep for more than, few minutes, because you will not be comfortable. So just taking that short, just cat nap helps to go through the rest of the day. And dinner should be light by 6:37 maximum in the evening. And 100 steps after dinner is recommended for the better digestion, and moving body for some time, that really helps to sleep. And then comes the bedtime, and we are so much hooked up to our devices these days. It's hard to keep them away, till we sleep. But staying away from them for hour and a half before the bedtime is definitely something we all should follow. I know it's not easy and it's not practical always, but just keeping that mind, that that keeping away the screens for some time before going to the bed. And people who have sleep issues, definitely for them, it is the key. And again, oil comes into the picture, and just few drops of oil or ghee, if you apply in your soles at night, it helps you to sleep better, and it improves your vision. Who could have thought, putting oil in the sole of the feet can impact the eyes? So these are the few rituals. And try to keep your phone away while you are sleeping, because those electromagnet, those fields which the phone creates around itself, that impacts our brain signals and the sleep wise also. And then it's just a pollution, I would say. So just stay away from your phone, keep it away, not in that same room where you are sleeping. Then comes the ahar, the food part. It's not only food, it's whatever we see, whatever we process. And in Ayurveda, we say we are what we digest. You can eat, you can, consume different things, but if you are not able to digest or absorb, then it's of no use. And food can be used as medicine if we take care of our, ingredients. And in Ayurveda, it's very, very personalized, because we all are made of different things. And so food can be just, little bit alteration here and there, and it's suitable for everybody when we talk in terms of digestion. And food, what we are eating is not that important, but when we are eating. So that is very, very important. So breakfast should be a light meal. It should not be a heavy meal like the propaganda, all these marketing campaign about breakfast is you should eat your breakfast like a king. No, because the whole night, it's like if you think about the body as a fire, the fire is digesting the food. And overnight, it's kind of sleeping, it's not active. So we don't want to, if the fire is, just kindling, we don't want to add a lot of stuff to it to put it down. So light breakfast, lunch should be the main meal, because nature is supporting to digest that time. The fire inside us, the digestion fire is very strong that time. So lunch is the main meal. And in the lifestyle we all lead, that is the most neglected meal. And we all eat, on the go, and, just something, grab, quickly eat. And dinner again should be a lighter meal. So that's how the system goes. And there are 6 tastes based upon Ayurveda: sweet, salty, savory and salty, same thing, sour, bitter, pungent, and astringent. So if we balance these 6 tastes, then the meal, definitely whatever you are cooking, by the spices you can manage. We don't have enough time to discuss that today, but these are the 6 tastes we try to balance. And moderation is the key. Okay, something is good for me or something is bad for me, but we cannot, okay, something is good, you cannot go on eating, that thing. So moderation is the key. Definitely everything in moderation is good. Definitely seasonal, fresh, organic food is super. And the rule 1 out of 3 is a golden rule here. So if we are, if we are our stomach is this big, maybe the plate we are seeing on the screen. So if you divide into 3 parts, 1 part should be the food, the solid food, 1 part should be the liquids, and 1 part should be empty, because you need the space to process that food in the stomach. So it should not be totally full, that there's no space to move things around. So it should be 1 of 3. And warm, moist, freshly cooked meals are the best. And eat only when you are hungry, because when we follow a certain rhythm throughout the day, we get hungry at the meal time. So, and if you are not hungry, don't eat. So there are some, myths we have already talked about, that breakfast is the main meal. And these days, the emphasis, always you will hear, okay, a lot of water is good for everybody and anybody. But that's not true. Based upon your body constitution, the water is, that, okay, you need this much water. So just be mindful of that, okay, it's not a general advice, drink a lot of water. And the temperature of water should be either warm or room temperature. Cold water is not good for the system, definitely. It's like, putting cold water on your digestive fire. What good it's going to do for you? And sipping water, instead of, gulping a lot of water together, sipping on it slowly, sitting down and sipping on it, that's a good way to consume water. And when we talk about the 6 tastes, sweet is one of them, but it's not only sugar. The grains are sweet, vegetables are sweet, fruits are sweet. So when you balance 6 tastes, don't think about sugar as the sweet taste. And these days, for vegetarians especially, protein is a big question mark. How do I include a lot of protein in my diet? But body has its own mechanism, to build or to create what it needs. So you don't have to just give, okay, protein, okay, this much gram. And for youngsters, they are trying to build the body, but protein means we have enough protein in, different things. We don't have to go separately to load ourselves with protein. And smoothies and salad are the healthiest food ever. But raw food, because both of them are raw material, right? Raw vegetables or fruits, it cannot be the solution for everybody. For people it works, some people it will work, but not for everybody. So be mindful that this is the healthiest food. Don't keep that in mind. And fat and ghee is very, very unhealthy. That's not true, because there are things you need that fat for the body to able to absorb or consume that particular thing. So you need some of it, definitely. And plain yogurt, thick yogurt, is not good for the system. So you can dilute the yogurt with like 3 or 4 times of water, add some, salt, some roasted cumin. For women, it's a golden thing, the roasted cumin. It's a good thing for you. You can add that and have a, little bit of it, preferably after lunch. So that's called chach or matha or lassi, the churned yogurt with lot of water. And milk is not good for everybody, and people are turning vegan. I'm not complaining about anything here, but milk is very nourishing. It's the thing that the source of the milk should be good. And the way it's being processed here in US, it's not the optimum way. But if you can find a good source of milk, milk is nourishing and it's very good for you. And brown rice is the trend these days instead of white rice. But again, if you have a poor digestive system, brown rice might not be the solution for you, because it takes so much time to cook it. So you can imagine how much work the body has to put in to digest brown rice. And these are the definitely golden keys we all can follow, that just keeping that in mind, not eating in hurry. Ice cold water, definitely not good for anybody. And there are some food combinations which are totally no, like yogurt and fruits. You should not mix them together. Cantaloupe, watermelon, it should be just eaten by itself, even not with other fruits and food. So just when you are having it, have a slice or two just by itself. Don't mix it with other food. And spicy, oily, stale, frozen, processed food, definitely not good for anybody. And white sugar and white flour are totally disasters for us, and most of the things you find outside, they are made out of these two. And extreme temperature, if you're eating something very hot, soup, and then you eat ice cream immediately after, you can feel the teeth are not, happy. You are not doing justice to them. So it's like this whole system, when you are mixing these two extreme temperatures, no, it's not good. And with age, you start feeling more. If you tell this to any kid, they will say, what's the harm? But definitely we see the harm. And then comes the mind. I'm sorry, I think I'm running little late, Margaret, but I'm just winding up with this.
Sure. Thank you, Shivani.
So the strong body cannot carry a weak mind, but a strong mind can carry a weak body. Does it make sense? I have experienced this with myself. So taking care of the mind is the most crucial part. So whatever the body happening to the body, it doesn't matter until your mind is affected by it. And anchor to the mind, how do we manage the mind? The secret is right here under our nose, the breath. So just, being aware of the breath, because half the time we don't realize we are breathing. When we get angry, it's like shallow breathing. We can, when we are sad, long sighs. And when we are happy, we don't realize we are breathing. And when we are stressed, we hold our breath, we don't breathe. So if you see the pattern here, the emotions are impacting the breath. So if we do the reverse engineering, you can control your emotions using your breath. So definitely breath work, pranayamas, they are They are the superfood, I would say, for the mind. And again, yoga, meditation, it's all, bringing the mind and the body and the breath to a sync, in harmony, when we can just optimize these three when they are together, they are working together for us. And chanting is very good to take care of our mind, and just, having this gratitude in us. If we can just, if nothing is going right, just focusing on, what has happened good for me, that brings the whole awareness and the sense of gratitude. It just brings that, fulfillment to life, that we don't complain much. And when we don't complain, that's meditation. We are just there in the present moment. Yeah, so whatever you are eating, whatever you're doing, at the end of the day, maybe it's not, perfect organic food which we would like to have, but whatever we are eating, just eating with gratitude. Okay, this is best for me, and just being with that feeling.
Positive. Very, very good.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shivani. Thank you very much. And thank you also to Raul for answering the questions in the chat as you were talking. There are lots of questions.
So
I
beautiful.
see there is still, Santosh, do we have time to take a few more questions?
I think we should, yes.
Yes, because this is very interesting.
Very interesting and very helpful, yes.
Yes, and so these are a lot of practical questions that Raul has. Thank goodness you're here too, Raul. So let's see what hasn't been answered. The question from Abby about, does that mean Raita is bad, Raul? Gee, how would you answer that question?
Shivani, this is about combining a lot of questions around combining yogurt and berries, and even having raita yogurt with some other things.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the general guideline is that yogurt, thick yogurt, if you can dilute it with water, is good for you. But once in a while, raita, because when you are making raita, you are adding vegetables to it. So it has some water and other content. And you are breaking the yogurt, right? You are churning the yogurt to make raita. So breaking that is very important, and diluting it. So I think when we are adding vegetables, it's solving the purpose. So, but daytime, consume it during the daytime. That's definitely important. And fruits and yogurt, in fact, fruits and dairy should not be combined. So even milk and fruits should not be combined, but having it once in a while is okay, but don't, make it a everyday routine. That's what I would say.
Thank you. Thank you. There is another question here. Ramesh asked about the role of satsang. Do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, so satsang, definitely. So it includes, sometimes it can be singing, chanting. It can be a knowledge, you are just watching or hearing or in the knowledge with a group. So coming as a group for any of these is definitely very, very good for the whole system, body and mind, both.
Okay. All right. And let's see, is there any other question here, Raul, that hasn't been answered?
Yeah, I
Let's
think
see.
most of them have been answered. There's another few questions on the water, with meal, without meal, before, after.
Okay. Yeah. So definitely before and after meal, maybe 30 minutes before meal and 30 minutes after meal, if you can, consume water. With meal, if you have enough soup or dal or, anything like liquid, like we speak, I spoke about the plate. If you keep it, 1/3 food, 1/3 liquid, and 1/3 nothing. So that helps for the body to keep the food moist and for the digestion part of it. So if you don't have anything, I would say if you're having, say, a burrito, then having some warm water is recommended with food. Maybe not like a whole big cup, half cup, and just sip on it in between your meal. That's definitely helpful.
Shivani, going back to the beginning of your talk, I would like to ask a question. You mentioned the common coriander and fennel tea. So how much are you grinding? You said it would keep for about 2 weeks, but how much are you talking about?
So you can just, 3 in different proportion, all 3, just mix it up. And, I would say a small bottle. And
Okay.
you can use a teaspoon or 2 teaspoon to, I would say 1 teaspoon to 1 cup of water, that kind of ratio.
1 teaspoon to 1 cup of water.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And I just have one more question. On the gum massage, on the self massage, you mentioned, sesame oil and coconut oil. Is it also fine for ghee or almond or avocado oil to substitute?
Ghee, no, I would say I'll go with sesame oil or coconut oil. These are the best, purest form you get, and they are very beneficial for different reasons for the body.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see there's a couple more questions. How are we doing, Santosh? Can we take 2 more questions? Lots of questions.
What time we have? Let's sure,
Yeah.
a couple more minutes.
Okay. So can you see over there?
Dr. Shivani, there's a question around Vata, Pitta, Kapha that we did not get into, right? The constituents. So maybe you can give a quick thing around. Today it was very general, but there is specific things for different people.
Yeah, I know, because these things are generally good for everybody, what I discussed, because I didn't have enough time to go into those details. But definitely body type, I think I had a slide, just a second.
Maybe you can come back, Shivani, and just
Yeah.
talk about that another time too. That would be very
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah, I can do that. But in general, body is made out of 5 elements. Let me just give a minute of this, and then I will definitely come back, like to come back.
Yeah,
So air element, ether or space element, water, earth, and fire. So these are the 5 elements we all are made of. The things around us also made of all these 5 elements. So, and then body is like, you can see these 3 fingers. So you can say Vata is made of air and Pitta is made of fire and water, and Kapha is made of earth and water. So if we are dominating in any of these, then the body is that kind. And it can have all 3, in sync. It can be one more, one less, something like that. So it doesn't matter. So if you, and it's like, it's a total, if we can discuss it for many hours, it will not end. But body, that's how the personalities are, and how the mind works, how the body works, how you are built up. That's how it is. And everybody is perfect. The way we are born with these 3 doshas we call in Ayurveda, we are perfect. But then with the lifestyle, with the food choice we make, these 3, if one goes down or one goes up, then the balance is disturbed. Then the problem occurs. But otherwise, we are created perfectly, either Vata or Pitta or Kapha or all 3 or all, 2 of them. It doesn't matter. But it's easier to understand, okay, maybe why it's happening that way, why my body is that way. It's easier to understand, okay, I'm made this way, cannot do anything, so accept whatever I am. Or sometimes it helps to get a perspective about the other person. Okay, what can this person do? He or she is made up that way. So
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. In future, we could just have you both come back and just talk in more detail on things like that, which would answer questions. Yes.
Yes, I definitely agree with Margaret. So I think it would be very nice, Shivani ji, if you can come back, maybe after a couple months.
sure.
And you can just shed light on certain things, just in detail, so then people will get benefited from that.
Definitely. Thank you so much for listening with so much patience. And I know I overran the time, but sorry about that.
Thank you.
No problem.
you,
Thank you
Siobhan.
so much. We appreciate it very much.
Yes.
So, Margaret, anything, we were supposed to have the other Q&A session that we don't have time for that, right?
No, I don't. No, we don't have time for that. It's been more important to hear what Shivani and
Yes.
Rahul have to say.
So-
And so again, I would like to echo what Santosh said. Shivani, thank you so much for coming and talking today. And Rahul, also thank you so much for being here.